All right, today we're jumping into a story that a lot of us probably thought was pretty much done and dusted, the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. But as it turns out, thousands of pages of newly released court files are forcing us to look at this all over again. Let's get into what we're learning.
So you might be asking yourself, why are we talking about this again? I mean, Epstein's been dead for years now, right? And his main partner in crime, Ghislaine Maxwell, she's locked up. It really seemed like the book was closed on this, but it's really not. Not even close.
Well, the reason this is all blowing up again is because a judge just ordered a massive pile of previously secret court documents to be released to the public, and it's pulling the curtain back on Epstein's world in a way we haven't seen before.
So what are these files really, and where do they even come from? To get why this is such a big deal, we've got to understand what's actually in them.
Okay, so first things first, these aren't just some random notes or diary entries. We're talking about official court records. They come from a defamation lawsuit that one of the survivors, Virginia Giuffre, filed against Ghislaine Maxwell way back in 2015. And now a judge has decided that the public's right to see what's in them is more important than keeping them private.
And here's why this is an absolute bombshell. These pages are packed with sworn depositions. That means testimony given under oath, and they name over 150 people connected to Jeffrey Epstein. We're talking everyone from celebrities and politicians to huge names in business.
And this is a really, really important point to get. As journalist Lucia Osborne Crowley points out, there's a huge difference between rumors swirling around and people being willing to swear to something under penalty of perjury. That means if they're caught lying, they face serious legal trouble. This isn't just gossip.
Okay, but here's a distinction that we absolutely have to make, and it's a big one. Just because someone's name is in these files, it does not mean they're accused of a crime. Not at all. The vast majority are mentioned as potential witnesses. You know, people who were at Epstein's properties, on his plane, at his parties. The real question for them is, what did you see? And why did you stay quiet for so long?
To really get your head around the sheer scale of this whole thing, you have to look at the two people who were the architects of it all, the ones who built this whole criminal enterprise from the ground up.
You know, Epstein and Maxwell were like two sides of the same absolutely terrifying coin. He was the money guy, he had the cash, the power, the private island, basically the entire infrastructure for the abuse. She, on the other hand, was the socialite. She provided the connections to all those powerful people. But her most sinister role? She was the one who went out and recruited and groomed the young victims.
And let's not mince words here about the power imbalance. It's just staggering. On one side, you have a predator with a private island, a private jet, and connections to the most powerful people on the planet. And on the other, he was targeting teenagers, many from trailer parks and impoverished communities who were just desperate for a better life. It's just a horrifying mismatch.
And this wasn't just happening by chance. No, this was a system, a repeatable, calculated playbook designed specifically to entrap and exploit young women. Let's walk through how it worked step by step.
It's chilling how methodical it was. Step 1, target vulnerable girls, often in poor communities. Step 2, lure them in. They'd promise money, travel, or even legitimate-sounding work like being a massage therapist. Step 3, isolate them. Get them on the private jet, take them to the private island where they had no way to leave. Step 4, the abuse itself, all hidden away in private mansions around the globe. And then, Step 5, and this is just pure evil, they would pressure the victims to recruit their own friends, turning the whole thing into a disgusting pyramid scheme of abuse.
And getting away? It was made basically impossible. Why? Because Epstein controlled everything. He'd reportedly take their passports. He made every single staff member sign ironclad NDAs. The island itself was more than a mile offshore, and he owned all the ways in and out. The planes, the helicopters, the boats. Plus, just having all those powerful, famous people around, that's a form of intimidation all on its own, isn't it? So this all begs the one huge question, right? How on earth did this go on for decades? Well, the answer is just a gut-wrenching timeline of mischances and the system failing over and over again.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It's infuriating. As far back as 1996, a victim reported both Epstein and Maxwell to the FBI. The complaint was apparently just ignored. Then in 2002, Vanity Fair was about to publish a huge expose with allegations from victims, but Epstein himself intervened with the editor and got it watered down. Then in 2005, police in Palm Beach finally launch a real investigation. They end up interviewing 40 victims, and what happens? He gets the secret sweetheart plea deal for just 13 months in a county jail. And the worst part? That deal gave immunity to all of his co-conspirators. The system didn't just fail these women. It felt like it actively protected their abuser.
And that brings us right back to today. Because with these files now public, it is crystal clear that even though Epstein is dead and Maxwell is in jail, this story is so far from over.
So, with the two main players off the board, what are the big, looming questions that these newly unsealed files leave us grappling with?
I mean, what did all of his powerful friends and associates actually know? What did they see when they were on that island or on that jet? Was this all just for his own sick pleasure, or was it something even more sinister, like many have suspected for years, a massive blackmail operation to get dirt on the world's most powerful people? And maybe the biggest question of all, will anyone else, anyone who enabled this or participated in it, ever be held accountable? You know, maybe the most haunting takeaway comes from the investigators who have spent years of their lives on this case. They all seem to say the same thing. After everything we've learned, after the arrests, after all these documents, we are still just scratching the surface. As one person put it, it is actually much, much worse than we think. And that just leaves you wondering, what else is still buried out there?